So you have Vancouver, Washington on your mind. You're thinking about moving to Vancouver, Washington. You don't quite know the area that fits you best. Well, in this video, I'm going to be discussing everything you need to know about living in Vancouver, Washington. Plus, I'm going to just bring up the map and I'm going to go through all the different areas. And what it'll do is it'll help you to find a few places you might like to live in Vancouver, Washington, but also a bunch of areas you might hate living in Vancouver, Washington. And if you want to learn that, we're getting after it right now. What's up, everybody? This is Jackson Wilkey with the Real Agent Now group right here in the Portland Metro. If this is your first time to this channel, you want to learn everything about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, play, and learn about Vancouver, Washington, make sure you tap that subscribe button, click the bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. And we honestly get so many phone calls, emails, reach outs every day for people moving and relocating here to Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. So only way we can help you, got to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, days, nights, weekends. We got your back when moving to the Portland Metro. So I'm getting a lot of reach outs and everybody's loving these map videos because you finally get to see these areas and what it's truly like there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on the map and I'm going to show you everything you need to know about living in Vancouver, Washington. Okay, so we got the map open. The funny thing is I type in Vancouver, Washington, and it basically highlights Portland. So that's how close these two cities are to each other, and it's honestly why so many people are gravitating to the whole Portland Metro. So yes, Clark County, which is the southern, very southern tip of Washington here, is considered the Portland Metro. So people kind of get to benefit from both. Before we talk about all the areas of Vancouver, the most commonly asked questions we get are, hey, Washington has no state income tax, so can I kind of just live up there and then, commute down to Portland to work, and then I don't have to pay that state income tax? No. If you are going to be working in Oregon, then you will be paying the Oregon state tax. But if you do live up in Washington, work in Washington, or, obviously establish your business working from home, then you won't have the state income tax, and you can just cruise down here and do all your shopping because Oregon doesn't have sales tax. So that is one way that you can benefit from it. But just to be open right now, everybody asks that. If you're going to be living in Vancouver, then if you are working in Oregon, you will be paying the Oregon state taxes. So what I want to do is just showcase right here. Okay, the Columbia River cuts through here, and it separates the states. The dotted line right there is the obviously the state borders right there. This bridge right here is the most popular and the most traveled I-5, and it can be a mess. We actually have a video from like a year or two ago of getting stuck in traffic. So Jesse and I actually drove during rush hour to just show you how long it can take. And honestly, we also went the other way too. So in the mornings, coming south on I-5, brutal. A lot of people traveling down into Portland to work. In the afternoons, again, the same, going up north on I-5. That's the worst. So if you're doing the opposite, so if you're living in Portland and working up north in Vancouver, it's actually not that bad of a drive. You can usually zip right through. So just letting you know, they don't have any, transportation across here. There's been talks for like the last decade about, putting the MAX or a train across there, but nothing's happening. So basically you're stuck to that. Now, you do have the 205. Everybody goes, well, there's 205 over there. It looks pretty close, but it's actually quite a jaunt. So, I mean, if you're living, up here in, Ridgefield or Vancouver or any of these areas, to drive all the way over to the 205, especially if you got to come back, it's not worth it. It's a long drive. But if you are working at the airport, need to be on the east side, whatever, yes, the 205, awesome bridge. I take it a lot. So that's really the separation. First and foremost, living downtown Vancouver is just not really a thing. Anybody moving, relocating here and looking for somewhere to live in Vancouver is looking at one of the suburbs outside. We have not really helped too many people live downtown. Downtown is kind of this older, and it's starting to pick up. Like there's so many, right? You can see all these restaurants. This wasn't like this even just a couple years ago. Obviously there's restaurants there, but it's becoming kind of like a mini Portland. Like you're getting a lot of the independent shops, restaurants, bars, some crazy cool breweries up there I love. And you have Esther Shart. Don't say that fast. Not Shart, Esther Short Park. They have weekly farm to market. What the hell am I thinking of? Farmers markets there. But the cool part, my favorite place now, we actually drive up here just for the south waterfront of Vancouver. They built this rad pier out here, and they got some cool restaurants right in here. Now, they are doing a bunch of condos and high-rises right here that are, they're pretty spendy. Again, we're not seeing a lot of people want that. But it does happen. If condo living is your thing, then right here. The other option for condos downtown is all in this area, kind of on the southeast side before you hit the I-5 of the west side of I-5, and they're older. I actually showed some clients those. You pay quite a bit for them, and I mean, you get to walk to all the stuff, but a lot of people aren't gravitating towards those. They are a cool little spot, and you do have some of them that have views of the river, which that's gorgeous right there. So if people are living closer to the river, they love to be more, this side, right in here, this kind of square here. There is some houses south of the Lewis Clark Highway here, 14. You're going to pay a little bit higher HOA fees from what I've seen, but there is a path along this river. So every morning you can take your hikes, your walks, and walk right along the river, and it's gorgeous. You have, little coffee shops and stuff, along there. So again, this is kind of just like the older part of Vancouver. So we're not seeing people. What's exploding and erupting is basically everything up to the north and this out to the east right here. This is Camas Lake. My favorite part of all of Vancouver is Camas, Washington. It's going to be your most expensive area, especially for suburb living, but it's like Pleasant Town, absolutely gorgeous, green. You have Camas Lake, so all the boaters, paddle boats, you name it. They got a cool little downtown. You've got golf courses all over up here. Top schools, Camas High School. And that's not me pushing in any way. If you go to niche.com or any of these, Redfin, they're going to show you the rankings of the schools, and Camas is just the top. So families, yes, and you're going to pay, here's like the little downtown area. I like to, this area up here because they got the rad neighborhoods and golf courses, but you have a cute little downtown, shops, restaurants, bars, everything you need. But I mean, as you can see, it's like water world in here. So you have just rivers. You got Camas Lake. So a lot of hiking. In fact, we will come up this way and head over to the east side over here, even farther, and hit all these hiking trails right along the river. So you have views of the river the whole time. And so kind of your backyard is your playground. You can see now that I do the map, and this isn't even up to date. There's a lot of new construction going on. This is where all the new construction, there's just tons of it around here. Really awesome area. Even if don't have the families, just want like kind of that clean, safe, really nice area, I would be looking at Camas. That's where a lot of our clients are looking. Camas is going to be a little bit more expensive. So Jackson, I want to save a little bit money, and actually I want a little bit more area, a little bit more property. This in just the last few years from Salmon Creek up to this area up in here. It's really starting to blow up. This was all and still is a lot of agricultural fields, but this is where you can find some property and still be close to things. The cool thing about living, even Ridgefield per se, you can hop on 5, and I mean, as long as you're not hitting like hardcore traffic, you can get downtown here to Vancouver like 20 minutes, right? And there's actually a big ass casino right here called Illini. It's tough to say. And they have all of the concerts and venues and just really cool stuff. It's all blowing up. But Sam, I remember like 3 years ago, we helped a client, and obviously this deal you won't find anymore, but he got 5 acres, 3-bed, 2-bath custom home for $500,000, and it was in the middle of nowhere, but now it's all getting built out, and it was actually right here in the Brush Prairie area. So again, when you reach out to us and you're like, hey, I like this, I want a little bit more space, or no, I want to be right in the heart of things, you got to tell us what you like, what you don't like. This is why we're the #1 relocation team. We hear that and we go, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's going to be Felida. Felida is exactly what you're talking about, and you're like, for who? This is what we know. We know these areas. So Felida, small little town, and we started vlogging some of these areas like 3 years ago to show you Felida and Ridgefield, and we're like, yeah, we think this is going to be the area, especially Ridgefield. We're like, houses right now are in the 250s to 300s. You have a cool downtown, a lot of shops, restaurants, bars, but it's starting to, like, the new construction's really starting to go. And only if we knew, because yeah, fast forward 2 years, 3 years, these are like the hottest areas in all of Vancouver. So you're completely self-sustained. You've got your grocery stores, and you have access. Once you come into Ridgefield, you head down. I mean, you have all of this as your playground. So tons of boats, kayakers, outdoor. Look at the amphitheater right there. That's really cool. That's the living right there. Parks, families. You go just get out lost, but mountain bike trails. There's like hundreds of mountain bike trails and 100 different like starting points. So get you a map, and you can ride mountain bikes, go jogging, hiking, take your dog walking, go along the rivers. It's kind of the outdoor, paradise. But you're going to be, spending a little bit less, up Ridgefield, Felida, these areas. So these were tiny little towns that now, like, you have, cool little downtowns with plenty of shops, but you're 15, 20 minutes away from Vancouver. So one of the first clients that ever reached out 3 years ago, we were in Felida, little downtown, and it was really, I was like, man, this is going to be the spot. And now it's really hot in Ridgefield, same way. Any of this area up here to the northeast is where you can still find some property, that kind of stuff. So I would be looking over in here if you want more space. But for the most part, Vancouver is into those 5 sections and then everything in between. But Camas, Ridgefield, Felida, and the downtown new areas, really, really hot. And then the Salmon Creek, Brush Prairie, this is all getting built out with tons and tons of new construction as well. So it really boils down to, again, what you like and don't like. But for an entertainer's dream and having, really cool outdoor activities and the shops, restaurants, bars, and access to downtown Portland as well, yeah, the Vancouver, it does all that for you. As you can see, there's multiple different styles of living in Vancouver. People just look at downtown Vancouver on the map, and as you saw, there's not a lot of living around there. So it's the surrounding areas and some of these very popular areas that are coming. So this is what we do. You reach out to us. We have these conversations. We open up the Zoom maps. We figure out the perfect place for you once you tell us exactly what you like. So in order for us to help you with that, you've got to reach out to us. Got to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, weekends, we got your back with moving to Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. And until the next video, we'll catch you later.